If you want to get more kills in Warzone 2, you have to understand positioning. So today we're going to be breaking down my new PR game right here, a 25 kill solo duos win, really focusing on my positioning throughout each engagement. And by the way, I perfectly play this end game when it comes to my positioning and my rotation. So we're going to really focus on that later on, focus on how I clutched it up. But for now, let's go ahead and pick this up right here. Now notice I am a little bit into this game. Nothing happened early. No kills, didn't see a person, just kind of looted up until the stronghold's open. Then I rotated over to hit the 2 legendary crates. Now, I do get a UAV out of that. Tells me there's multiple teams on the other side of Observatory. Also get the normal amount of cash flow. You know, I have a ton of cash flow right here. I'm able to buy both my loadout guns and actually get another UAV at this buy station, which is where I really want to begin here. You know, good positioning, putting yourself in the best spot possible, really starts with information and understanding where people are. And there's 5 ways that I do that throughout this game that we're going to talk about and really pay attention to. Number 1 is, of course, going to be the UAV, guys. The UAV is the best thing possible when it comes to understanding where you want to be because it tells you everything you need to know. How many players, how many teams, what level are they on, where are they rotating to? You know, right here, I'm playing duos. 2 guys, that's a full team down below and a full team up top here on top of this observatory building. So that's just something that I have to keep in mind as I'm rotating. I know UAVs are harder to come by. I actually don't use them that often this game. I use a few UAVs early, and then I really don't use them the rest of the game. But anytime you can get a UAV, you should really try to capitalize on it. It's just going to make everything so much easier. Now, we see one guy right here. We see one guy right here. Now, when we talk about where should you put yourself, what position is the best spot possible? The most important component is going to be your cover. I don't care where you are. Low ground, even ground, high ground, doesn't matter. Cover is the most important thing. Right here, if I get smoked, I can peek behind this rock right here to replate, heal up, you know, re-engage from a different angle, whatever it may be. But if you get caught out in the open, the TTK is so fast that you are a dead man walking. There's nothing that you can do. So when you're approaching a fight, and even just when you're rotating, always think about your cover. Where can you go if you need to heal up, replate, or reload? Now, I'm able to get this down right here. I'm going to swap to the precision, and what happens with this precision kind of determines what I do next. If I get a thirst, it's a one-on-one. If I get a re-knock, I got to keep that in mind, because he revived and then re-down. If I get nothing, then I've got to play this a little bit smarter. But I get the re-knock, and I get one guy flying down. So now I can kind of go challenge him one-on-one. So 1v1 fight, I've just got to hit my shots. I got to anticipate well. And he has to make a decision here. Are you going to push up the ladder to revive, or are you going to challenge me? Well, based on this, I'm guessing he's going to push up the ladder. Also note that that second team that was here rotated away. They are no longer here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of peek around this side, try to see what I can find. I end up catching him rolling up the ladder right here. He had to make a decision, made the wrong one. He gets smoked, and he gets wiped right there. Now, we're going to go ahead, check this buy station right here to see if we can get another UAV. Like I said, UAVs are the best method, not always viable, but anytime we can grab one, even if we stow it for later on, we want to make sure we have them in our arsenal. Now, right here, I've got a decision to make about rotations. I don't want to talk too much about rotations today, besides like how I go about figuring it out, but you know, I don't love fighting in this village area. It's just a really weird place to fight. A lot of buildings, a lot of, you know, finessing between buildings, a lot of like areas where you struggle to get that high ground, which, let's talk about component number 2 to positioning, which is, of course, going to be your high ground. Cover is the most important thing. Like I said, whether you're low ground, even ground, or high ground, doesn't matter. Cover is the most important thing because if you don't have it, you're going to get smoked. By the way, look at the UAV right here. Look at the minimap. Notice that I do have 2 teams. I've got one team close that I'm going to push first, and then I've got one team further back. Now, when we talk about positioning, guys, I could take this building right here, or I could take this one right here. Nothing wrong with taking either of them. I'm going to go ahead and play this building right here. And the reason high ground is so good is it gives you a really good angle to see a lot of what's going on. Makes you a harder target to hit because you do have that high ground and you're shooting down on them. But most importantly, what I think is even if you go down, you know, it's very difficult to thirst you because they have to have a precision airstrike. Right here, I want you to listen to this procs chat that I get right about now.
Move it to that house. Nope. There we go.
So that proc chat, I know they're moving. Notice the patience that I have. I'm not full sending this like I was in Warzone 1. I'm in a good position. I see the shadow right there. We see the guy rotating. Now we've got to execute a little bit. Now, we're in a little bit of a weird spot because there's still another enemy. I wasn't able to get that thirst, so we kind of have to push over a little bit. And a lot of you are going to be like, Joe, you're out in the open right here. I am. I am a little bit susceptible to the second enemy. I'm trying to get this thirst, see maybe if that guy's rotating over. But I also have a window right here, and I've got a doorway right here that I'm very aware of that I can easily peek through if I end up getting shot. So we're going to go ahead and peek through this way. find a different angle that we can take. But once again, notice at my cover right here. As I'm pushing up, right, I don't play high ground, actually. I just play cover. I get the knock right there. This guy doesn't know that I can see him through that doorway, and we're able to get that team wipe. Now, once again, think about that other team that's here, right? Where's that other team? I know they're floating around here somewhere. I saw them on the radar. They've got to be somewhat close, but I don't have a UAV to confirm anything. You know, I don't have a UAV to confirm whether they rotated away or whether they somehow died or whatever it may be. So we're going to go ahead, fast forward just a little bit. We're going to end up trying to figure out how to get on high ground. And once again, we get on high ground. And this just allows me to see a lot, you know, and being able to see a lot and just try to analyze what's going on is a great way to find people. That kind of leads me to my next 2 points. You know, the second way that we can, of course, find people is just by seeing them rotating, or, you know, maybe we get shot from them, and then we can figure out how we need to position. The other one that I kind of pair with that, though, is going to be audio, not footstep audio. Footstep audio is not good. Not good in the slightest. We're all aware of that. But hearing people shooting and kind of seeing shots being fired is a great way to figure out where to rotate. As we push out here, I want you to look at this building right here. Not only can you hear shots being fired, you can also see them, which means I know there's 2 teams over here somewhere. I've just got to figure out where are they and what's the best way to approach. And I'm always thinking about high ground when I'm approaching a team. That's kind of the way I want to, that's where I want to get first. And then from there, I can figure out, okay, what's my next play? That also allows me a lot of times, let's go ahead and fast forward here. That also allows me a lot of times, we're going to see this enemy right on top of this rooftop. As we push over, he's right up top there. You can barely see him up there. So we're going to go ahead and push over. The other thing that high ground allows you to do is kind of fly to another building if you need to. Now, right here, we're just trying to get up top to the rooftop. We're going to, you know, use this mantle to hit this jump spot, and we actually get put in an interesting scenario because as I push up the stairs, this guy ends up being down. Now, I could have done a few different things here. I probably should have interrogated. I don't know if I can, maybe I can interrogate him. I was trying to let him kind of live ping me and come to his teammate, and me try to just bait this guy to pushing me. Playing a little bit of positioning, you know, I feel confident in my 1v1s. And what it ends up happening is this guy just can't find the stairs. He bleeds out. He cannot find the stairs anywhere. But I do hear that he's stomping around. I just don't know where. I'm just trying to wait for that moment that I can go ahead and challenge him. Now, I hear him stomping around outside, so we can go ahead, trying to see if he's this way. Don't see him there. Now I hear him backside, and now we go ahead and challenge. Now this isn't, positioning matters a little bit less. That's a little bit more like Warzone 1, where I'm just going to put myself in that engagement. I'm going to hit shots, and we're going to go ahead and get back to high ground. Now, I know they were shooting somebody, right? They weren't just shooting at each other. So, and well, maybe they were, and they were just messing around. But we're going to go ahead and once again take our high ground. And as we get to high ground, just to see, right? If I don't see anything here, like, I'm ready to rotate with the car. But what I end up seeing is a guy right here. I end up seeing him right about here. You can see a little bit of movement. Yep. So now I got to figure out, okay, what are they doing? I know they're over there. I, of course, see people flying to the loadout in the back, so we're going to keep that in mind. And I'm just trying to see what I can find. Are they going to challenge me? Are they trying to get to the rooftop? Did they see me? By the way, even if I get smoked here, they're not going to be able to get that thirst unless they have a precision. Now, we mount up right there. We're able to get that first knock. We're able to get that first thirst right there. So, once again, in a good position. And this isn't camping, guys. This is positioning. I'm putting myself in the best position possible to fight this team. Camping is sitting in a building and not moving until you absolutely have to because gas pushes. And if you happen to run into somebody, you happen to run into somebody. Now, right there, we're able to get the break. And this is where I talk about high ground allows me to fly over to that next area. You know, we're able to fly over to this building, which once again, a little bit of a tougher spot here because we're on even ground. I don't have a ton of cover here because he might be a little bit higher, but I am just able to get enough of that headshot right there to be able to get both those kills. Now, what do we do here, right? Now, what's our next piece of information to act on? 25 kills, guys. That's one of the hardest parts of this game is finding 25 people. So what we actually act on next is once again going to be audio of shots being fired. We're trying to find a way to the rooftop right there. We're rotating back to the car because I always want to be using a car to rotate, want to limit being caught out in the open as much as possible. That's where we talk about using our cover. We're going to push to the rooftop, and then I actually end up hearing people over this way. There's a bunch of people fighting over this way. I just don't know exactly where they are. Now, this is a little bonus tip for you guys. This isn't one that I really have on my list for today, but it's just sort of holding people out of a circle, thinking about where people are rotating from. You know, when we talk about positioning, I am in circle right here. notice that we have one guy in the truck. We've got one guy over here. We've got shooting over this way. Like, there's a ton of stuff that's happening right there. There is kill number 8. Now, I still know that this team's right here, and I still know that they have to rotate into me. Like, some people are going to call this camping. Guys, this is not camping right here. This is positioning. If I try to push into these guys and challenge them head on, I'm never going to win that fight. I'm going to rotate out in the open. I'm going to try to finesse. There's no finesse ability or very little finesse ability. So instead, I am positioning myself preemptively based on where they have to rotate to. I've got high ground here so I can shoot down on them. I've got cover, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We got one over here, by the way. Look at that guy. Notice that little bit of movement right there. Little bit of movement gives that guy away. So once again, we're going to keep watching our back here. Is anybody flying in? Not sure if anybody's rotating over this way. I try to get that live ping, guys. Not a bad way to see if that's actually somebody at distance. And these guys have to rotate out in the open. Notice there is nothing that these guys can actually do to prevent them from dying. They don't have a car. They don't have any cover. So these guys are just dead, and I'm just going to wait for this second guy right here. By the way, 9 kills so far. 9 kills. If you are looking to get better, guys, make sure you are subscribed down below. My whole goal is just to help you become a better player. As always, if you are subscribed already, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let's go ahead and challenge this guy. Now, I know he's got to rotate in. By the way, when I ping this right here, when I go back here and I ping this wall, what I was actually doing is trying to see if this wall's in zone. If he can sit right on the corner of the cemetery, he's probably going to sit right on the corner of the cemetery. But he actually has to rotate into me, so I can use that to my advantage and just basically wait for him. He's got to either be right down below me, which is why I threw the cluster mine just for fun, or he's going to be rotating somewhere. I just got to figure it out, and I'm just going to play a little bit more patient. I'm not going to give up my positioning here until I absolutely have to. Right there, we're able to get the team wipe. Now, 10 kills, what do we do from here? Again, biggest question that I think you need to answer and figure out throughout these games is, what do we do from here? I've got 10 grand, don't really have a buy station anywhere right here, so let's go ahead and get back in the car and start driving and see if we can find a buy station. If we can find a buy station, great, we can get a UAV. If not, then we got to figure out what the play is, which we do end up seeing people rotating. Once again, going back to just seeing people with your eyes. This is a little bit of an aggressive play, guys. I decided to challenge this pretty hard. This is not positioning at all. Maybe a little bit with cover. You can kind of see me use the electrical boxes, but this isn't really that much of cover. We just kind of make a play down that guy, wait for the second one here. That guy peeks. That's a pretty easy team wipe. There's 2 more kills. So let's go ahead and push forward here. And now we're going to go ahead and grab this bounty contract, guys. If you followed me and you're subscribed to me, you know that I say bounty contracts are meta in this game. Why? Well, it solves our information problem of not knowing where somebody is. It gives us an opportunity to get kills, and if we get the kill, then we can, of course, get even more cash flow, which sets us up for more of that later game. So we're going to go ahead and grab this bounty contract and really start to rotate over. Once again, look at the circle right here, thinking ahead and going, okay, these guys have to rotate to me. Let's go ahead and kind of play this positioning a little bit and see what we can find. You know, I know they're over here somewhere. I just don't know where. This is where we go back to kind of seeing what we can find or seeing what we can see and see if we can catch them rotating out in the open. Maybe just a glimpse of one enemy is all I need to be able to at least understand where they are and give me a better sense. Now, as we push up, I'm looking the water, looking the bush to see if he's in there. We're trying to get that live ping. I see that he rotates more left, and we actually do get a little bit of proc chat. This is an interesting scenario that happens here because I end up running into 2 teams kind of on accident, and I don't even realize it. I've got proc chat here. We're going to have one guy out to the left right there, but this isn't worth pushing, guys. I'm not going to push across and put myself in a bad spot when circle's rotating in just to try to go get this kill. Notice my cover once again. Always going piece of cover to piece of cover. Now, as I'm pushing this way right here, I end up catching a guy out in the open, and we are going to use this bush to our advantage, guys. But the bushes in the grass are absolutely an advantage when it comes to cover. We're going to be able to get that down in thirst. Now, I thought that was enemy number 2 on the bounty team, meaning the bounty's left by himself, and I'm focusing over this way, trying to see where he is, and then I end up catching this guy, but that's not the bounty. That's a totally another team. So now I kind of shift my focus. Going back to that original fight at Observatory, right? This is a 1v1 fight now. Now, I have to make a play. I put myself in a really bad spot here, but this is a 1v1 challenge right here. Positioning does not matter as much as just, you know, I end up thinking that was him. I don't know how I get out of that scenario, but now as soon as we get this kill, we start to refocus on bounty. Look at which way bounty pushes. So we're going to continue to play positioning here. Which way are they rotating? I have the information. This is why bounties are so great. And I'm going to play my cover. Notice that I have my cover right here. If they shoot me, there's not a whole lot they can do, but they kind of have to rotate out in the open. Now, I get that knock, but I can't do a whole lot with it, right? There's not a whole lot that I can do. Once again, you see my cover right here. Playing cover, putting myself in a good spot. They're going to revive, so I'm just going to wait for them to revive. And look at the circle pull, guys. Part of positioning is understanding where circles are. You know, you want to be fighting in circle as much as possible. And I think that actually is probably the fifth thing that I would tell you, is fighting in circle as much as possible and be the team that is holding other teams out of circle, as opposed to the one that is stuck, you know, in a spot where you're rotating like I'm going to do to this team. Now, I play this a little bit more aggressive here. This is a little bit of an aggressive play. I actually second guessed myself after I made it because I thought that I could put myself in a really bad spot, and I potentially could have. I end up being okay here, but we're able to get that knock, so we're just going to keep rotating over. I'm trying to make them push exactly to me. So as I rotate over here, gas still hasn't started moving just yet, but it's going to move very soon, and I do have a pretty long rotation here. By the way, 14 kills, still a very healthy lobby. So now, let's go ahead and continue to put me between them and the circle with cover, though. Notice I still have cover here. I'm using these little, what are they called? Freaking, I don't even know what they're called. Whatever they're called. The things that carry your luggage. But I'm using that as a little bit of cover. We catch that guy right there. He's broken. Once again, using cover, right? So I use this as cover right here, this little box, and I can always get out of the hangar if I need to. Watch how I push up, though. Notice right here, I have this piece of cover blocking this doorway. So this second guy cannot see me right here, which allows me to easily get that down. Watch it full speed. Watch how I just push up a little bit, right? I see him rotate left. We're going to create that piece of cover. We're going to be able to get that knock. Once again, still have the information that bounty has to push towards me. And this is where I start getting a little bit nervous about having to rotate with circle. So I pull back a little bit. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing or where he is. I'm trying to see. So I'm just going to keep pushing back piece of cover to piece of cover. We grab our cover here, and now we're going to start focusing on this end game after this kill. We're focusing, we got cover right behind the car. We're a little bit out in the open, but that guy's dead. Now, what do you do right here? Like, I want you to actually think about what you're thinking about, because immediately what I'm thinking about is I need to get in this truck as soon as possible. If there is a team that is on top of this airport, I am absolutely fried. There's not a whole lot that I can do. So I need to get to this truck, and I need to start rotating, which is exactly what I end up doing. So let's go ahead and push forward a little bit. We don't really see anybody over this way. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody that's like wandering outside of zone. And now we start to really focus on positioning. We get a little bit of prox chat right there, and we're going to go ahead and take this ladder. Now, this one's a little bit tougher, guys. I'm going to be honest, and there's probably going to be some people that say that I camp this end game, and it's tough, guys, because I'm just in such a good spot. Like, my positioning here is perfect for this end game because I'm in circle right here. I've got plenty of cover. I've got high ground. I can see up the hill. I can go in the building. I can see straight ahead of me. I can see back behind me at the airport where somebody just survived. I don't know if you saw that red flare, but I'm just in a really good spot here. And now it's just a matter of kind of like, I've got to find people, right? This is one of those where you got to slow down at some point and not play as aggressive. Now, thankfully, I did get some footstep audio here. I think the only footstep audio that we actually get is footsteps in stairwells, I'm pretty sure. But we're just going to play positioning. Once again, notice I have a little bit of cover here if they peek, and I'm just going to try to see what I can find. If they push up here, my goal is to get the first one down and then go ahead and challenge enemy number 2. Instead, this guy's going to peek right below me. He's going to go down and get him out of the fight, take the self-revive out of the picture. I took no damage. I can easily shoot down on high ground right there. Now, even if that guy kills me, he's got to still make a play to thirst me, right? He's still got to get to the stairs. He's got to push up the stairs and hope by that time that I don't self-revive and then jump off the edge, at which point I can re-engage. So right here, we're just going to keep plates loaded up a little bit. I do want to grab that second self just in case, and we're just kind of maneuvering stuff around right here. That's 18 kills, and we're just still looking to hold people out of circle right here. Still looking to hold some people. Don't really have anybody besides this buyback right here. Now, I'm skipping forward about 10 seconds here, guys. That's what I'm doing right now because I know not a lot happens. Now, right here, we get one enemy. We get one right there. We've got one flying in above us who's Gonna try to make the move to challenge. I don't know why, but he's gonna go down pretty easily. 19 kills, still 23 other players left. Like I said, we do clutch this dub. Now, again, guys, when we look at this circle rotation, I mean, what am I supposed to do here, right? Like, I have really good positioning. And if you look at all the buildings that are around me, like, I don't technically have the highest ground here, but I'm in a really good position when it comes to cover. I just got to be careful of people flying down from the village area. But I'm just trying to see what I can find. But out of these buildings, like, I have the high ground here. Like, there's no need for me to give this up right now, especially since it's endgame. Like, if I'm sitting here in first circle and I'm doing this for the entire game, like, yes, that is camping. But I would argue that up until now, like, I just consistently played positioning based on information. I figured out where some people are. I played cover first and then focused on my high ground at that point, and I was able to kind of take out one team at a time. So let's go ahead and push forward right here. We're going to back this up just a little bit because we're going to fight this guy. We see one rotating out in the open. No cover at all. We're able to get that knock, and somebody else gets that kill for me. So we're going to go ahead and take that one. That's kill number 20. Still 19 other people still alive. And when you think about rotation, guys, I've kind of cleared this side. I'm a little bit worried about people rotating in from over here, but haven't really seen much. I know there's going to be people over this way, and there's going to be a ton of people rotating in from village. I mean, just look at where people have to come from. It's kind of pretty obvious what their play is. Now we're going to go ahead. I actually think I wait a whole nother circle here to be able to get, not wait, I don't think I get another kill this circle. Let's fast forward just a little bit. Yeah, I see one flying that way, but can't quite get that kill. He's probably playing that building. Now we see some people right here. We're going to try to get that knock. But once again, guys, like, I can't go thirst this. Like, there's not a whole lot I can do there, especially even if I get that down. Like, he's got cover. He's in a good spot right there, and I have a mortar, but mortars aren't great. So right here, 20 kills, 15 other people still alive, and if I had to bet, there's probably a team in this building right here. And what do you know? We're going to go ahead and see them in a second. Yep, we see them right there. Notice I don't expose myself too much. It's just a little bit of a jump. We're going to try to get that down, but I can't oversell here. I can't worry about that too much. I am a little bit nervous because we both have to rotate, but I do have a durable gas mask that I can really use to my advantage. So 20 kills, 9 other enemies. I keep forgetting that I don't have a teammate. And I'm trying to find an angle to kill, to maybe take one of these guys out, but they're just not peeking. Still see the guy up there. So I'm going to, why do I mortar that, right? Why do I mortar that in this scenario? Well, I know that right now I have to, especially with gas pushing, I have to focus on this team right here. The one scenario that I don't want is this team sitting right on my mouse and absolutely frying me from this side. I also know that I'm going to play gas mask. So I use that to hold them off a little bit so that I can really, they have to rotate up top there. Don't really see anything. And now this team below me, I know has to rotate. And as long as they don't have durable, I can kind of outweight them right here. There's enemy number 1. Still worried about the second. And I get just about the worst COD timing you could possibly get here. And I just got to make a play. Like, my COD timing, I'm waiting. And then he pops out of nowhere. So, like, now I just kind of got to make a play. I think he's worried about getting into gas. And I just, like, kind of have to reach out here. And we're able to at least even the fight, right? The fight there is even. And now we can go ahead and we can get that kill. Now, 1v3 scenario, 2v1v1, right? Or me versus a team of 2 versus a team of 1. We're going to grab that mortar. Can't exactly get that second gas mask. And once again, we're going to mortar up this way. Holds them off, allows me to push in down below. Now, in this moment, guys, I'm going to be honest, this is where the RNG factor of this game comes in. If I don't get a circle pull here, there's not a whole lot I can do. I can definitely make a move. I could probably play a little bit of gas and push up this right side, but it is going to be extremely difficult. And this last play right here, this last play is a perfect example of positioning. If you made it this far, thank you so much. It is a perfect example of positioning. I'm going to go ahead and rotate down. I'm going to try to see what I can find here. Don't really have anybody rotating, and my thought is I need to get to one of these buildings. So we're going to push all the way back, not take the ladder. It leaves my back exposed. So we're just going to go ahead and push up just a touch. We're going to play this first window, right? Again, I've got power position here because I'm in a little bit of high ground. I'm probably even ground with this enemy that's rotating, but I do have a ton of cover. We're able to get that knock, but I can't get the thirst, guys. There's nothing I can do. So we're going to go ahead and play a little bit of high ground once again. They now have to rotate to me. I am in the best position possible right here. I should have reloaded. I did not reload, but I know that one's down there. There's enemy number 1 down. Can't quite get that thirst, so we're going to go ahead We're going to reload, and then everything's just going to push to me because of positioning. I've got my high ground. I'm not in circle, but I'm holding them out of circle. I put myself between me and where they need to go, and then we just got to execute. There's one right there. There's enemy number 2 knocked. There's enemy number 3, and that's a 25 kill solo duos dub. I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.